Hi, this is LC Clemens here, and today is December 17th, and this is the last vlog for the year. So, with this being the last vlog of the year, I just wanted to talk about a few things. The first being, I realize I'm probably not going to be working on my first draft, or finishing up my first draft, I should say, for book one by the end of the month. A lot of things, there was a lot of factors that played into this. The first being NaNoWriMo. It kind of threw me off a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to put 100% blame on Nano. I know there are probably a lot of contributing factors to it. There were other contributing factors, such as we had a fundraiser going on. I had to make Christmas ornaments. We also had I have to make Christmas presents for my own family, and with the upcoming loss of my job, with that worry on top of all that, it kind of pushed things to the back. I'm not going to talk too much about my job, but I do work for the Department of Education, and I work in a branch office, and my particular branch is shutting down for money reasons, for the most part. So with that being shut down, I have to look for a new job. So my goal is to hopefully, where's my notebook at? Here it is. I have a planner notebook. This was supposed to be the Charming book, but to make a long story short, I didn't like the way the pages were formatted, because they're in a dot sequence rather than a normal. See, you can see them. They're in a dot sequence rather than a normal sequence of lines. So it kind of bothered me. So I ended up putting the Charming book outline for that in a different notebook I had. So the Charming series, not the Charming series. So what I'm planning on doing is, because there's so much going on this month, my brain's going to go on a vacation and finish up the rest of rest of book 3 of the Poseidon series outline, and then I'm gonna start and finish book 1 of the Poseidon series, and put this over here. And the goal is, so by the end of February, book 1 should be finished. Then we're going into March, and I've already talked about this in the last video. I'm going to then work on reading and putting in notes and everything to start the revision process for my NaNoWriMo book for the month of March. And then for April, we go into Camp NaNoWriMo. By that point, I should be able to work on book 2 of the Poseidon series. So that'd be 30 days in April. Then we have May and June. May and June, I could start on book 3, but I figured if I'm going to finish book 1, I should work on revising and writing notes to redo book 1. And then June, I'm going to work more on my Charming outline. And it seems like a lot what I'm saying. Work on my Charming outline, and then in July, I can work on book 3 of the Poseidon series. Then August, that's going to be probably either vacation month, I haven't decided, or a prepping month, because NaNoWriMo is going to be 2 months away, and that's when I start getting the notification emails that I need to start preparing for NaNoWriMo. So I'm looking at so for August, I'm looking at either a vacation. I'm writing, like I said, I'm going to write this all down. I'm working on vacation, or because my wedding anniversary is in August, or if push come to shove, I don't want to start. Here's the thing. I do not want to start another series during any of the NaNoWriMo months, because it does mess with my brain. So for August, what I'm thinking of doing is possibly working on, and this is everything still on the fence, like I said, working on book 3 of the Poseidon series, or so August and September, either I could work on the Poseidon series. No, August I'll work on Poseidon book 3. September, I'm gonna start refining the outline for the Charming series. And then in Preptober, I can actually, I'm sorry, I was gonna do that, but I just realized, but because I did write it down and then I couldn't find my notes anywhere. So for August, I'm going to, why can't I think, I had it in my head and it's driving me crazy. For August, I'm going to work on, August is going to be the outlining portion for the second NaNoWriMo, the second book in the series for the NaNoWriMo I'm doing. And then September will be when I work on the Charming outline. And then for Preptober, I'll be refining the outline for book 3 of the Poseidon series. So then when October rolls around, I can work on, October is when I'm going to do the Nano outlining for book 3, refining it. And then for for December, that's when I take another vacation. So that's just a rough patch of what I'm planning on doing. But mind you, this is all subject to change. With me losing my job soon, I might be able to work on more book writing if I ended up unemployed and have to stay on unemployment for a while till another government job picks up. Or I might choose to forego doing like the Camp NaNoWriMo and possibly working on other books, especially if I'm in the middle of the book and I'm at the peak of writing it, I might forego it. So everything is subject to change. On top of all that, so on top of working on the vlogs, I also do the Lone Wolf Chat podcast. So I have to figure for the podcast, I'm probably going to have to plan my podcast episodes a year in advance, or plan the whole year, which is what I'm planning on doing this month. So I got to finish book 3's outline for the Poseidon series. Then I'm also going to work on the outline for the yearly list for the Lone Wolf Chat podcast. Podcasts can be written or, on the spur, and lately I haven't been writing a script, which for some reason is giving me more views than when I scripted. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but the whole thing is I at least want to plot the episodes a year in advance, because I figure if I plot the episodes, at least I have an idea of what I want to do. And with podcast episodes, those are also subject to change depending if something is trending right now. Let's say, like, for example, I just did an episode for Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima's story was trending, so I used Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding to talk about him more, because I would, in that case, would get more viewers or more listeners. So there's always that subject to change. So I've got a lot on my plate, so I figure what I should do is plan for the year. And we know plans don't always work out, but like I said before, I've said like 4 or 5 times now, it all is subject to change, because with the case in point, I'm about to lose my job. I'm hoping to pay a good chunk of my bills during tax season. On top of that, I want to work on my books, which seem like a lot. You may seem like it's a whole lot, but a lot of it is going to be planning before I get to the writing stage. I'm more of a pantser than a plotter, but with the way my brain has been working, the way a lot of things have been going, and with NaNoWriMo opening up my mind to maybe planning some things out, it may work out better for me rather than me just sitting here trying to pants my way through the whole situation. So I got the book series I'm working on. Then I got the podcast episodes I got to do. Got to find new work. On top of all that, I gotta get a new computer. If you haven't noticed, you probably didn't notice, but I'm actually using my Samsung. I use my Samsung phone for some recordings. Like if I'm recording my podcast episode the same day I'm doing my recording my audio recordings on GarageBand. And the reason why I do this is because my MacBook is old. It cannot handle video recordings on one software and audio recordings at the same time. It doesn't work like that. And unfortunately, I also have a welded-in MacBook. If I could switch out the memory, I would have done so a long time ago. I have to save up. I really want to get an iMac. The newest iMac that just came out, not the iMac Pro, that's insane. I'm not paying $5,000 for a freaking Mac, but the iMac Pro, which can work to my specifications, is actually showing to be a good production value for videos and audio logs. And I want to try to do that this year. I really do. And I know there's probably some part of this video you're gonna notice down below there in the description. I do have a coffee page, not a Patreon. I don't really do Patreon because I'm not a person who's gonna be able to even do an ARC. Well, no. Let me not say that because I know it's going to start a whole nother tea thing going on. ARCs are free. I truly believe that because, first of all, it's not even your edited work. So you should not be charging people for it. But the coffee page is for my podcast production because I have to pay GoDaddy, HostGator, and Spreaker to keep my podcast going for the audio recordings. You still need a hosting page to even put it on iTunes, which is really irritating. And then I have the WordPress.com page so to keep my, because even, let's say, my podcast gets 10 times better. Let's say, for example, I finally published my first book. I'm still going to need a website. So I figured I'd put the website there, kill two birds with one stone, have a website already up, and just put the book stuff up there. Or maybe pay somebody to do it because at that point in my life, I want to pay somebody to do it. But the coffee page, with me saying I'm about to lose my job, and I realized what I said may sound a little off. The coffee page is more for people who want to support the podcast. I refuse to e-beg. Even though I'm about to lose my job, I refuse to e-beg. The reason for that is I am in my early 30s. I should be working a full-time job. Until I'm able to get fully published and write full-time, it is called a job and it's called unemployment. E-begging is something I guess you could say I'm a little prideful in that regard. I refuse to do that. E-begging has its ups and downs. E-begging is not something you want to do because I don't want to be tagged. I don't want to be flagged. I don't want to be seem like I'm trolling people just to get money out of people. But if you want to, you can support. Oh God, I'm not doing this. Okay, no, I'm not e-begging. I'm not e-begging, not doing it. I feel bad doing it, so I'm not going to do it. I just wanted to point out that there is a coffee page, but that's only for the podcast. It's not really for the vlogs. So if you donate, it's going to go to the podcast, not to the vlogs. The podcasts are not easy to produce. I don't pay anybody to produce it. I do it on my own, which probably explains why I probably have bad quality with a lot of my videos, but I digress. The reason for that is because I have to pay GoDaddy, like I said, Spreaker, and I have to pay HostGator. It can cost me up to $600. And I know it sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. I've seen it once go up to $600. Last year it was about $3 something, but it's always subject to change, especially with the way the economy is going. That's the only reason why it's up there. So I just want to point out, even though I'm lamenting of the fact that I'm losing my job, I can always go on unemployment, so I'm not 100% worried about it. So I'm just giving you a little housekeeping video, and this is just to, let you guys know what's going to come up in the upcoming year. But with that being said, I'm going to end the video. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I hope everyone is productive in the new year, especially everybody who's on AuthorTube or WriterTube right now. I will chat with you guys again in the new year.